Hey everybody, Kevin Eikenberry here, live on location for Facebook Live today, and obviously also for a remarkable podcast. So if you don't know, all these Facebook Lives eventually get put onto our Remarkable Leadership podcast as well. Of course, you can watch or listen to them there. I'm coming to you live from the backyard of Remarkable House, our offices. You can see my seat there on my lawnmower. I'm going to be there in just a second. So before we actually start, welcome. Glad that you're here. Settle in for a few minutes. We're going to have some fun with this. And I'm going to hit start here. So I'm going to actually, sorry about that. I'm going to actually start, I'm going to take a pause. I'm going to actually start this for what will be broadcast later on the Remarkable Leadership Podcast. So welcome and thanks for being here. Welcome everybody to this Facebook Live. Kevin Eikenberry here from the backyard of Remarkable House. We'll call this live and on location. You've seen me do Facebook Lives, you've heard me do Facebook Lives, but never from the backyard of Remarkable House. Over my shoulder you see a lawnmower. And the reason there's a lawnmower there and the reason I'm doing this from the backyard is because, well, I was challenged by a friend of mine actually to do one of these videos about how leadership is like mowing the lawn. So a lot of people have challenged me to do this on other things, and this is the latest. So thank you to Tom Alway for giving me this idea and challenging me to do this. So here we are. We're going to talk about how leadership is like mowing the lawn, and it seems to me that the logical thing to do would be to do it from the lawnmower, don't you think? So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get on the lawnmower, and I am doing this obviously from my phone, so if there are questions, I will try to answer them, but I may not be able to see them because I'm trying to do this without my glasses because I'm just a little bit vain, but that's a whole nother topic. So here's how I think some ways that leadership is like mowing the lawn, or what leaders can learn from mowing the lawn. Okay, so first, mowing the lawn is noticed. There is no doubt that if someone's not mowing, I mean, my wife Lori and I were on a walk the other night, and I noticed several people hadn't been mowing their lawns, and it's noticed. But if someone has been mowing, it's noticed too, and in fact, when it's done well, it's appreciated. Isn't that true about any team? You can see if leadership is happening. You can see if it's happening or not, and you can see if it's happening well, and if it is, it's noticed and it's appreciated. The second thing about mowing the lawn is that mowing the lawn is maintenance, right? You are maintaining your lawn by mowing it. Here's what I notice is that when I'm mowing, I have the chance to observe what's going on in my lawn. When I'm at my farm, I notice that I've got moles in the yard there. I don't have moles here at the Remarkable House or at my house across town, but when I'm on the lawnmower, I can notice what's happening around me. I can see what might need to be worked on. I can see what's working, perhaps with weed killing or whatever else. And isn't that true with us as leaders? I mean, the reality is that if we're not leading by wandering around, to coin the phrase from our friend Tom Peters, if we're not paying attention by being out with our folks and walking around and chatting with them, we can't possibly know what's really going on. I lose track of my lawn if I'm not mowing it, and we lose track of our team if we're not spending time with them, engaging with them, saying good morning, and 100 other things. Mowing the lawn is maintenance, and so is leadership. We must always be in a maintenance mode. All right, some of my team members are here watching. I don't know if they would say I'm doing this well or not, but I sure try. Here's one of the things I've noticed about lawns in general in my life, and that is that most people don't really love doing it. I mean, some people do. I like to mow the lawn. A lot of people don't like to mow it, but even the people that don't like mowing it tend to fertilize. And here's the thing, the more that we feed it, the more that we need it. The more that we feed the lawn, the more that we need to mow the lawn. And there's a point there for us as leaders too, I believe. And that is that sometimes we think, well, if we coach our folks up, I don't love that phrase, but if we coach our folks up, then they can be more self-sufficient. There's truth in that. But here's the fact in a world of full employment. If we start to feed our team, if we start to develop them, they're going to continue to want that. And if we're not developing our team, Like our lawn isn't going anywhere, but our folks could. If we aren't giving them the care and feeding that they need, they might find another place to work and another leader to follow. So, man, we got to think about that. I think often about mowing the lawn as being about growth. I mean, if the grass stops growing, here in Indianapolis, we've gotten very little rain in the month of September. If the grass stops growing, well, then we won't need to mow it. So mowing to me is all about growth, and I believe that leadership is all about growth. Our growth, the organization's growth, the growth of our teams, all of that is true. I do like to mow the lawn. I have a couple of lawns here to mow in Indianapolis, and yet mowing the lawn can be delegated to someone else. I thought I'd tell you quickly about when I first remembered delegating mowing the lawn to my son, Parker. Now, I've been mowing the lawn, or mowing lawns, I should say, since almost as long as I can remember. Since I was probably about a second grader, I've been on a lawn tractor mowing lawns. And so I know a lot about mowing lawns. I know about some things that you ought to do and some things that you oughtn't do. And I know that when I first taught Parker, I didn't teach him very effectively in terms of I jumped past a bunch of the assumptions that I know about mowing lawns. Like, don't shoot the grass into the flower bed. You got to go the opposite way so the grass doesn't go in the flower bed. But see, if I don't share that with Parker because I think that everybody knows that, then guess what? It's not his fault. It's mine. Now, Parker's been mowing lawns for a long time. He's 27. This long since passed, but I remember vividly my frustration the first time, and it wasn't his fault. My fault as a leader. We can delegate mowing the lawn, and we can delegate as a leader, but we got to make sure that when we're delegating, which is a topic for a whole other conversation, but when we're delegating, we got to make sure that we're setting people up to succeed in doing it and not making assumptions. Super, super important. I've got one more thing for you, and that is this, that for me, one of the things that I like about mowing the lawn is it gives me time to think. And I believe that most leaders aren't making enough time to think. We're too busy in the work to think about how we can improve the work, how we can improve our teams, and the differences that we can make in that regard. I believe that it's critical that we think about this, that we spend more time thinking than most of us do. And for me, mowing the lawn is one of those times. If you don't delegate mowing the lawn, mow the lawn without, something on your ears, listening to something else. I mean, unless you want ear protection, simply because it's a chance for you to be observing and noticing your lawn and thinking in general, something we're not doing nearly enough. So hopefully we've had a little fun with this. Hopefully you've enjoyed this diversion, and if you're watching, hopefully you've enjoyed me doing it on location right here in the backyard at Remarkable House. But most of all, I hope that you found it interesting and useful. And I've got something else I want to share with you that is not only going to be interesting, and it's going to be incredibly useful. In fact, it's a webinar that I'm going to do on October the 21st. I believe it's one of the most important webinars I've ever created. October the 21st at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. It's titled, Why It Takes More Than Skills to Be a Remarkable Leader. Yeah, more than just skills. It takes more than skills to be a remarkable leader. That's the webinar. October the 21st, 3 to 4:15, completely free. And you might want to know how you can join us. So it's simple. You go to kevineikenberry.com/way, W-A-Y, and you can sign up, and I'd love to have you. And if you're watching this and you missed the fact that this is also simulcast later, or latercast, not simulcast, on our podcast, make sure you check out the Remarkable Leadership Podcast. You can go to your favorite podcast app or go to remarkablepodcast.com. So here it is from the backyard. I'm going to wrap it up. Thank you all for being here, and I look forward to talking to you all on another Facebook Live soon. And so long from Remarkable House.